What is up, my friends? It's a brand new week here on Anfield Agenda, and as always, you're very welcome along to Monday's News Roundup. Over the course of today's video, we're going to look at Nat Phillips' departure from Liverpool. We're going to say thank you to him. We're going to speak about Milos Kerkez, who has landed in Liverpool ahead of his medical, a little bit on Darwin Nunez, and a couple of other interesting bits and pieces, including an updated net spendometer at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. All of that and more to come up over the next few minutes, but as always, ladies and gents, we want to know your thoughts, so please do let us know in the comment section. Drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, and we would love you to hit that subscribe button. Another shout once again, as tickets are moving really quickly for our last ever show. We are going to be in Liverpool Sunday 19th of October for our final ever stage show at the Hot Water Comedy Club Liverpool. It's an all ages event. Tickets are priced at just £15, and again, it is the weekend of the Manchester United game, so if you want to come along and make a weekend of it, much like we are, you know what to do. Right, let's get cracking with the news. So, Milos Kerkez. We started out today with David Ornstein saying Milos Kerkez set to fly into the UK from Belgrade and undergo a medical today ahead of completing a transfer from Bournemouth to Liverpool. That's how the day started out, but as we started to go along, we started to see a few other bits and pieces coming out. He's expected to be formally announced tomorrow, said David Ornstein. Then we had Nicholas Bieber, who has been the Liverpool fans' resident plane expert, if you want to call it that, for this summer's transfer window. He said Kerkez flying to Liverpool today for medical. A private jet is scheduled to fly from Belgrade in Serbia to Liverpool this afternoon. The same mid-sized aircraft is then due to return to Belgrade tomorrow night. Milos is set to become a Red. Now, we can give you an update on that. He has landed in Liverpool, so he will begin the first parts of his medical this evening, and then of course everything else will be completed and he will be unveiled as Liverpool's newest summer signing tomorrow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will complete the hat-trick of promises that we gave you here on Anfield Agenda. Jeremy Frimpong, we can tick that one off. We can tick off Milos Kerkez, and of course we can tick off Florian Wirtz. And I don't know why I'm making the sign of a tick in the air like you don't know what a tick is and that it won't be backwards on the screen. But either way, you get my point. I can breathe a little bit easier now knowing that everything that we promised you came through. But most importantly, I can breathe a little easier as a Liverpool fan knowing that we are set up to go into next season with more signings and of course some more departures yet to come. Now, speaking of departures, let's have a little look around the deal that will take Jerell Quansah from Liverpool over to Bayer Leverkusen. This has been confirmed, and we can reveal it if you want, but I prefer to reveal it, the price point at which Liverpool would have to pay to bring him back from Leverkusen. Now, he hasn't even gone yet, so we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but he will complete his medical as soon as the England Under-21 Euro campaign is over. They're in the semi-finals against the Netherlands. After that, he will fly into Leverkusen to complete his medical, and then he will become a Bayer Leverkusen player. We were talking last night about the release clause. Nobody seemed to know the exact number of it. We did take a guess at it, and guess what? We were pretty close with the guess. So I said to you, I'd be surprised if it wasn't somewhere around £50 million. Now remember, Liverpool are selling him for 30 plus 5 in add-ons. And a lot of people are kind of balking a little bit at the price of the buyback, but it makes sense. If you're going to buy a player back from a club, you're going to have to pay a little bit of a premium because the club have clearly improved him if you're willing to buy him back. That's why I guessed about £50 million for the buyback clause. And Pippo Aarons today has confirmed Liverpool's buyback clause for Jerell Quansah is worth more than €60 million or £51 million. It was a key part of his move to the Bundesliga. So there we go. And look, if you do trigger it, it's only because he's done well. And if he has done well, then he's obviously improved as a defender, and giving them an extra few quid on top of the money they paid obviously makes some sense. So £50 million to me seems like a fairly reasonable buyback clause if Liverpool need to activate it. But that's where we're at with him. That deal is pretty much all done. He will become a Leverkusen player. But then the question is, who do Liverpool move forward centre-back? We believe, of course, as various reports have, that it will be Mark Gay of Crystal Palace. But we've still got to agree a fee there with Palace for him. Little bit of side news on Crystal Palace. John Textor has sold his shares to the guy that owns the New York Jets. So there won't be any problems with him owning shares in two clubs there. So hopefully that will help Crystal Palace get into the Europa League. Right, let's talk Nat Phillips now. This update from The Athletic is that Nat Phillips is undergoing a medical today ahead of completing a permanent transfer to West Bromwich Albion. I have to say I'm happy for Nat Phillips. I really am. I've said this many times on the channel. I've never believed he was going to make it at Liverpool Football Club, but he is a hard-working, honest young man and deserves to go and play football on a regular basis. Delighted that he's finally going to put down some roots now and settle down into West Brom. Wishing him nothing but the best in his future endeavours, because whenever he's been called upon for us, he was nothing but a model professional. So Nat, thank you from all of us Liverpool fans. Wish you the very best in your journey with West Brom. Sincerely, thank you, mate. It's been a joy having somebody like that who knows their place in the squad, steps up when needed, but ultimately probably the right thing for him to move on. And again, West Brom, a decent club for him to move to. So best of luck, Nat. Now let's talk Darwin Nunez. So we'll start off with a piece from Fabrizio Romano that said, after the contacts took place over the weekend between Darwin Nunez and Napoli, there's total openness and strong appreciation for the player towards the Napoli project, towards Antonio Conte, and now he is fully open to the idea of joining Napoli. The deal now depends on the financial feasibility, as Liverpool want an important transfer fee and salary will also be a key topic. Now look, Liverpool, we believe, want somewhere between 40, 45 million pounds, maybe a little bit more for Darwin. We've seen reports as well that Napoli want to pay as low as 30 million pounds for Darwin. So will they get a deal done? Truth is, I don't know, but if there's willingness on both sides of it, hopefully there can be an agreement reached that will see Darwin start to go away, rebuild his career, and maybe we'll see Federico Chiesa move to Italy as well. More on that coming up over the next few weeks. Right, let's talk Milos Kerkez again. Romano posted a picture of him and his family on the way to Merseyside. Mum, dad, his brother and himself on the private jet on the way over. Hopefully someday we all get a chance to have a little bit of a private jet journey in life, because I won't lie, it's definitely on my bucket list to do at least once, but I'm a long way away from it now. Maybe I can sign for Liverpool. What do you reckon? Don't laugh. How dare you? Right, let's move on a little bit, folks. An important week for Napoli's pursuit of Darwin Nunez, said Alfredo Padula as well. And here's a little bit on Joe Gomez for you, because lots of questions about Joe Gomez's future. But when I read this today, it honestly did make me really happy. So, reports today suggest that Joe Gomez is happy at Liverpool and he's keen to stay despite interest from Leeds and Sunderland and other clubs. And I got to say, that makes me really happy. I want Joe to stay. I've said it many times. If we move on Quansah, which of course we are doing, bring in Mark Gay, keep Joe Gomez around. It all then comes down to what happens with Canade. Will we extend his contract or will we have to sell him? But either way, keeping Joe at the club makes it a lot less daunting for me as a Liverpool fan in this window, because, as I've said before, his versatility is key, and having him at the club and his experience as well, having been here 10 years, I think you can't understate that. So for me, if he stays, that is a big weight off my mind, and I certainly hope that we can get Canade agreed. If we can't, maybe it's Nathan Collins, maybe we look elsewhere. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the early edition of the Anfield Agenda News Roundup. I promise you a net spendometer though, so don't go anywhere yet. But I will be back tonight, 8:45 for the late night agenda. Hope you can join me for it. And again, hope you had a lovely weekend. Right, net spendometer time. As you can see, Liverpool have spent £187.5 million and have recouped so far, including the Jerell Quansah fee, £61.5 million, meaning our net spend so far in this window stands at a whopping £126 million. So far, no complaints from me. Do let us know how happy you are with this transfer window so far. And again, I hope to see you tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. Much love, my friends. We'll talk then. Bye-bye.